Joining us is Budget Chair Lindsey Graham from the great state of South Carolina. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. You were with the president yesterday and today. What happened in Venezuela, to me, has ramifications far beyond that single country.
Well, number one, from an American point of view, what happened in Venezuela takes the bad taste of Afghanistan out of our mouths. We left Afghanistan in shame. We withdrew all of our forces. The terrorists took over. It was a low moment to see America flying out with people hanging on the wings and the wheels. It looked like Vietnam all over again. What did we see a couple of days ago? America at her best. Our men and women in the military doing the unbelievable as if it was routine. A commander-in-chief that doesn't overthink the fact that Maduro and Venezuela are bad. They're hurting America. He gave him every chance to leave. He could be in Turkey now, Maduro, but he's in jail because he miscalculated Trump. What happened was there's one less country on the planet pretty soon, not quite yet, that will be a safe haven for narco-terrorist drug cartels that will be aligned with Hezbollah. Better days are ahead in Venezuela. Hats off to the brave men and women of the military who did an amazing military operation. You heard it, Trey. You were with him today. It's a story of legend. But the commander-in-chief does matter. With Donald Trump, you have a bold visionary who doesn't look for conflict, but will not be trifled with. So here's the message for the world. If you're hurting America, you do so at your own peril.
All right, Chairman, if I am sitting in Cuba right now and I even see a kite flying over my head, I'm ducking for cover. I mean, is Cuba next?
Yeah, the communist dictatorship in Cuba will soon come to an end. 30% of the oil to supply the Cuban economy comes from Venezuela. Again, we got some work to do in Venezuela, but we'll get there. They will be denied that oil. The new leadership coming through a free and fair election, hopefully will happen sooner rather than later, is going to reject Communist Cuba. Communist Cuba is a dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've sent tens of thousands of people to our country here illegally. People have fled Cuba looking for freedom. The communist dictatorship's days are numbered. There's no way that the communist dictatorship in Cuba survives after the takedown of Maduro. It is over. It's just a matter of time. And Donald Trump will have done something that's eluded America since the 50s. Deal with a communist dictatorship 90 miles off the coast of Florida. I can't wait till that day comes. To our Cuban friends in Florida and throughout America, the liberation of your homeland is close.
All right, Chairman, let me span the globe with you. How do you see the protests that are unfolding in Iran? And is this an opportunity to rid the world of the single biggest sponsor of terrorism?
Well, all the people who were protesting for the Palestinians, where are you today standing behind the people of Iran or trying to throw over the Ayatollah, who's a religious Nazi, who killed a 16-year-old girl for not wearing a head cover on a bus, who's tortured, raped, and maimed the population, who is the largest state sponsor of terrorism on the planet. The people are in open revolt. They've chosen not to live this way anymore. And unlike Obama, President Trump has not turned his back on the people of Iran. So I pray and hope that 2026 will be the year that we make Iran great again.
All right. Speaking of 2026, new year, new chance at something called reconciliation. You're the budget chair.
Yeah.
What do you want to see?
Yeah. Another bill. And we had a talk today with President Trump. I'm going to meet with him and some others, maybe as early as Monday, to put together a second reconciliation package. The first package, the big, beautiful bill, we had the largest tax increase in American history without one Democrat vote, because all you need is 50 votes under reconciliation. We had the largest spending cut in American history without one Democratic vote. We had hundreds of billions of dollars to secure the border without one Democratic vote, because they wouldn't vote for these things. Round two, what do I want? I want to go after welfare fraud. I want to rewrite the way the programs work. I want to make sure that every state, before they get $1 for food stamps or any form of welfare, that they send biometrics to the federal government proving that the person exists and they're eligible for the services in question. I want to go after the fraud that's so rampant in Minnesota and throughout these blue states through reconciliation. And second, I want to do an affordability package, making America more affordable to the hard-working men and women of this country through reconciliation. Stay tuned. It is coming.
All right, Chairman, it was great fun being with you and the President last night and again this morning. Feel free to Venmo me the money that you lost to me on the golf course. I do accept Venmo. Until then,
I'll send
you take care.
Well, here's the good news, Trey. Here's the good news. I'm going to pay you, but it will be in Venezuelan dollars. So good luck.
I can't wait. All right, have a great week.
Thanks.
Senator Lindsey Graham, thank you.
Thank you, pal.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.